Now let's look at some techniques that are used for scales in flat keys. And these would entail keys like D flat major, E flat major, and A flat major. For these scales, we're going to start on a finger other than the first finger. So be very attentive when you're working on these scales to choose the correct finger, and as you practice them, make sure that you are very careful to always play with the prescribed finger to start these scales. We'll have a similar technical idea that we spoke about in an earlier lesson as well, and that is tilting the hand in this angle as you ascend with the right hand, and this way when you descend with the right hand. In the left hand, you'll tilt your hand this way, ascending, and this way, descending. And I'm exaggerating the angle here for this video lesson so that you can see the basic idea, but you may not want to have such a strong angle for your hand for these scales, just a slight turn. Okay, so let's look at E flat major first. It's going to start in the right hand with the third finger, and we'll play the E flat and then immediately go to the thumb. And then what you want to do is have your hand spring over to the position for the next few notes. If you notice, even in a slow tempo, I spring over with my hand like that, and then ascend, and then my thumb is going to spring under, so to speak, the B flat here. And then there's another snap motion going from the B flat to preparing for the D here. Let's look at that one more time. That spring, spring, and then in a slow tempo, evenly, it sounds like this, and looks like this. And then a little faster. The same is true for the D flat major scale, which involves 5 accidentals, 5 flat keys. D flat, E flat, G flat, A flat, and B flat. We're going to start on the third finger here, and you'll notice that my hand position is at an angle here. That's to accommodate the thumb for the F, preparing for the F. You might also see that my thumb is already under the hand preparing for the F. And then I spring over to the G flat here. Once again, thumb is already prepared for the F. Spring over, and then spring over for the D flat here. So this involves a few of these kind of spring-like rapid motions, even in a slow tempo. And this is true for many of the flat key scales, whether they're major or minor. So let's look at this one more time. You may have noticed on the way down, descending, I prepared the thumb on the F here ahead of time. Let's look at that. See that? The thumb is already prepared. Let's play this up and down consistently and try to keep track of where my thumb is for this and how I snap over. This is very similar and will be very similar for the left hand. In the left hand for the D flat major scale, we'll spring over to the G flat with our fourth finger. And it will look like this. And then up to the D flat. So we'll have 2 of these spring motions, one to the G flat and one to the D flat at the octave. And then descending. And you'll notice that I already prepared the F. It's maybe hard to see because it's hidden under the hand. But as I'm descending here, my thumb goes to the F and prepares it so that I can quickly spring over to the E flat. Let's look at that again. Once again, ascending and descending. Now these techniques will hold true for most of the scales in the flat keys for the book. So for instance, if you're looking at an E flat scale, this kind of thumb under will also work. The spring motion will hold true for these.